Hello, Chris Murphy. You are Mayor Vincent Gray's Chief of Staff. And you know, I just read up on you and I see that you have a very impressive resume. You've been the Chief of Staff for HUD Secretary Sean Donovan. Of course, what I do as a homeless advocate is very closely related to what HUD does because we're trying to get housing for the homeless. I see you work for the Clinton administration with AmeriCorps, and I mean, you have a very impressive resume. You know, when I look at the stuff, you know, on paper, I would think you're one of the brightest people in the world. You know, that you really have it together upstairs. But you know, after our email exchange this morning, I would second guess that because you contacted me on November 16th, and you offered to have a meeting. You'd evidently heard some stuff about myself and possibly about SHARC as a whole, SHARC being the group that I'm chairman of. It stands for Shelter, Housing, and Respectful Change. You made no reference to SHARC, so I'm not sure if you're even aware that I'm the chairman of a group. But even so, you know now. But you reached out to me. I had never heard of you. I didn't know you existed. And you sent me this email saying that you thought I had wrong information pertaining to the mayor's initiatives as it pertains to public schools and charter schools and parks and so forth. I made one public statement about that on the radio a few weeks ago. It was a very brief reference. I doubt that's what you're referring to, so I'm not sure what you heard about me prior to contacting me. And even so, you offered to meet, and I took you up on your offer, and then a couple days later, I find this blog post that really spells out the mayor's priorities and how his policies are hurtful to the poor and the homeless. I emailed it to you. I BCC'd a lot of people, and I thought that including you in that email would be a positive thing, letting you know what's being said about your boss. You were very unprofessional in your response. You said that I was disrespectful to you. I read the email several times. I didn't find anything that was disrespectful. To me, it just came across as letting you know what's being said about your boss, and also saying this might be what you were referring to in your initial email to me. Nonetheless, you got in your feelings, and we went back and forth several times, and you called off the meeting that you had actually offered to have with us. So let's get this. Let's put it all together now in closing. Now, so you reached out to me before I ever knew you existed and offered to have a meeting with me. And in your initial email, you said you wanted to have a civil conversation. Now, myself and others took that as a little bit of an insult. I didn't respond to it initially, but I'm responding to it now. You know, I took that as you saying on the slide that you think we're just a bunch of rabble-rousers. We just want to shoot and shout, rebels without a cause, you know. But I let it go. But you really pissed me off at this point. I'm not letting anything go now. You know, you gotten on my bad side. And that said, you reached out to me, and I took you up on your offer, said we're going to meet, and then you got insulted by God knows what, and called off the meeting. And you're a public official. You're supposed to have thicker skin than this. When the public finds out that the mayor's chief of staff offered to have a meeting and then withdrew his offer, that's going to look really bad on you. And so I'm giving you one last chance to redeem yourself. And this is a nice video, okay? The next one I make is not going to be so nice. The next email that I send to you is not going to be so nice. You're a professional. You're supposed to be anyway. You got this awesome resume, but you as a person don't seem to be all that bright, you know, and so this is your last chance to redeem yourself, and let's call the meeting back on for Wednesday. So if we don't meet on Wednesday, then on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, I'm going to plaster your name all over the media, along with the link that I just read about all of your experience, and I'm going to tell people that we have these incompetent, thin-skinned individuals working close to the mayor, not just low down in his administration, but in his office. You meet with them on a probably a daily basis, and yet you just don't have your thoughts together. And so we're going to fix that. And if it's up to me, you know, guys like you wouldn't work for any mayor, let alone Vince Gray. He's not my favorite character, but even so, he is more professional than you. And so take this as a warning. Get your act together, because next time I'm not going to be as nice as I just was. Have a nice day.